Hello YouTube, welcome to a new video on my channel. First of all, I want to say that I hope you're all having the best Advent time possible despite everything happening in the world right now. Stay strong. Okay, so in this video I want to discuss something that I thought of a few days ago that I thought is kind of interesting. And that is, let's just say, hypothetically speaking, that for Christmas I got the opportunity to not have cerebral palsy for one day. What would I do during that day? And when I say not having cerebral palsy, I also mean everything that it comes with. So in my case, not having cerebral palsy means also not having CVI and fatigue. So let's find out what I would have done. So the first thing I definitely would have tried out on this day, and this might seem quite trivial to some of you, and that is simply walking. I would have walked and walked and walked and walked, and then walked for another 40 minutes. If you take that reference, that's awesome. But yeah, I would have just seen how far I could have walked without getting tired, because I can't walk that far now before getting tired. So it would be very interesting to sort of compare how fast I get tired without CP versus how fast I get tired now with CP. That would be one of the first things I would have tested, definitely. I would also have done some running, because I can run even less than I can walk, so running is pretty tricky. But that would also be interesting, because I would also go on this classic, one of these classic jogging trips, just to see how long it would take before I actually started getting physically tired. So yeah, walking would simply be the first thing, and that is I guess that's pretty obvious, considering walking and motorical function is where the cerebral palsy sets in. Another thing I would have tried, and this is pretty specific, this is something I've been wanting to try to be able to do since I was a child, and that is ice skating. I live in Norway, so the cold weather always comes, the snow always comes at some point during the year. And when I was a child and tried going on ice skating, my parents literally had to hold me up because I wasn't able to stand on the ice skates for a second without falling over. So if I were to go for a day without having cerebral palsy, I would definitely try ice skating. I would maybe even try to learn some easy tricks. That would be really cool. Some pirouettes or something. I've always really admired those who can really dance on the ice and stuff. That would be awesome to try out. So yeah, that's another thing. Also, I would have wanted to try some of the jobs that can be trickier for me because of my disability physically. And one of them was the receptionist job I applied for earlier this year, where the lady messaged me and said that it would be difficult for me to have that job because there was a lot of running at the hotel. And so if I were to go for a day without having cerebral palsy, I would have definitely tried out that job to see how it really was, considering running wouldn't be a problem. I wouldn't have to think about whether I got tired or not. And another job that I would want to try, that I've actually been thinking about for a while, is an eldest nurse, to help elders with care, with daily stuff, because I think that would be very rewarding. Sadly, I can't do that now because there's a lot of heavy lifting and heavy tasks in general, but if I were to go for a day without having cerebral palsy, that's another profession I would definitely try out. And I'm aware that one day is, in the real world, not nearly enough time to actually get a job or try a job, but let's just say that this hypothesis is limitless. If I were to go for one day with cerebral palsy, I might as well do everything I want to try. So yeah, those are also two things that would be awesome to try out. And so if I didn't have, since I don't have cerebral palsy for a day, I also don't have CVI for a day, which means my sense of direction would probably be just as good as everyone else's, which again means that I would have gone crazy when it came to trips and travels, and I would just travel everywhere. I would go on lots of trips and do lots of activities and just know that I would find my way back without having my parents there to help me. That would be the feeling of freedom is something I really long for, like total freedom. The freedom of not having to have somebody else there to help you all the time, and not to be so dependent. And I think without CBI especially, that would be, it would just be really nice to just feel how it feels to be completely 100% free, to do whatever you want without worrying, do I find my way back? Is this the right place? Is this the right building? Is this the right door number? Stuff like that. That would be incredible. I can't even imagine, to be honest, how it feels to be 100% free. Something else that I think would have affected my mood greatly during this day is the fact that I wouldn't have to live in fear. And that sounds very dramatic, but hold your horses, okay? What I mean by this is simply that I wouldn't have to worry about people's reactions when I told them about my disability. Because reactions are very, very unpredictable. You never really know what you get. And whenever I'm on different apps, like dating apps or language apps or whatever, and speak to people, there comes a point in the conversation where it sort of becomes natural to bring up my home situation and my disability and stuff. And the sad thing is, I'm basically expecting people to either ghost me or just delete me straight away because of that, which I shouldn't, I know, but it just happens kind of automatically. Because I feel like it's become a norm in society for disabled people to settle with less, which I think is not good at all. If I didn't have cerebral palsy for a day, I would just want to feel how it feels not to be so scared whenever I'm talking to new people and people in general, to like expect them to have a negative reaction. So yeah, I would also want to have this like ultimate energy day. You know, those people who say that they're just feeling bursts of energy and are just very well rested and prepared to tackle anything that comes their way, and they're just like, I have enough energy to run around, to upload several videos, I have the energy to start writing an essay, I can do some homework, I can do whatever, and they're still energized throughout the whole day. If I were to go for a day without having my disability and the fatigue especially as well, I would want to have the ultimate energy day. I would want to be super energetic the whole day and just do lots and lots of things all the time. So many things that I wouldn't have time to think. That would be super awesome. But even though a day without cerebral palsy would definitely give me some positive experiences, I also don't know if I would have chosen to say yes if I was given a choice. Because it's tricky where, on one hand, you're really curious to how it feels and you want to know, but on the other hand, you don't want to know, because then it's way easier afterwards to long back to that state and being like, it feels amazing, yet I know I can't go back. That's tricky. But then again, it would have given me a really unique opportunity to sort of compare all of these factors and actually give people a real answer. Like, when people ask me, how does it feel to be disabled? I can't give them a good answer because I have nothing to compare it to. The only life I know is a life with a disability. And when I have nothing to compare it to, I can't really say anything else than it feels like it feels. Like, it's a tricky situation. It would have been a tricky choice to be given. And I actually don't know. I mean, earlier I was pretty sure I would have said no, but at this point I'm not sure if that happened, if I would have said yes or no. But anyway, that was some of my thoughts and perspectives on a day without cerebral palsy and everything that it comes with. So in my case, again, CVI and fatigue. I hope you liked the video. If you want to subscribe, you can do so, and I really appreciate comments. I appreciate any kind of constructive feedback, and please feel free to leave a like. Goodbye.